Let not people be too comfortable saying that, oh God, I got my visa. Your ultimate decision, whether you enter the United States, depends on that gentleman or lady sitting in the desk. And listen, nobody can interfere with visas. Nobody can interfere with immigration policies of any country. When people pick up their green card and just come down and they just happily stay, thereafter in India or in whichever country, why did you stay for 9 months, 10 months? They think that a visa is an automatic entry to a country. It's not.
Hello and welcome to the Federal. In this short interview, we unpack the latest developments in US visa policies from bot cancelled appointments to record student visa denials and tighter scrutiny for H-1B holders. And we ask the tough questions that you need answers to. Joining me now is senior journalist Sridhar Krishnaswami, who covered North America for several years. So, thank you for joining me. My first question to you is the US Embassy recently cancelled 2,000 visa appointments booked via bots, exposing a black market where people paid 30,000 to 35,000 rupees for early slots. So, how widespread is this issue, and actually, does it reveal deeper flaws in the visa appointment system?
Okay, thank you, Nisha, for having me on your show. See, the very fact that somebody is charging you 30 to 35,000 rupees itself should be an indication as to how rotten the system is. And if the Trump administration is trying to come to terms with this, then you should really be thankful. Because why? People who are legitimately queued up to get an appointment are being denied. And so, this is something that the embassy should have done long time back. Now, why wait for Mr. Trump to do it? If you know a system is being abused, you should have put an end to it long time back. So basically, I think we have to thank that finally a system is in place where only the legitimate people in the sense that people who are lined up, queued up, or whatever the phrase you may use, get access to the system. You can't get, it's not like going and buying a railway or a bus in a reservation ticket. Um, but then in that case, you should outsource it to travel agents then. Let them go and book en masse, and that's precisely what people don't want to do when you're sitting in a sensitive position like in homeland security or immigration or customs enforcement or whatever. So hopefully people who are serious and legitimate about getting a visa will get a shot earlier, now that somebody is trying to come to terms with a purely bogus practice.
Now that bots are being curbed, can we expect faster appointment availability, especially for B1, B2 business and tourist visas, or are there other bottlenecks that still need fixing?
The way I see it is that the Trump administration is taking a look at the entire immigration procedure. And B1, B2 is a part of that procedure where, for a long time, conservatives, not just from the Republican Party, conservatives have been saying that there is potential for misuse, there is a potential for abuse, especially in your business visa. That is meant for a specific purpose. Now there has long been an allegation that that IT companies are not using that B1 in a business visa for a legitimate purpose. So generally you are looking. I remember I have written an article several years back in which I addressed this in an issue where there was a genuine feeling that people coming into the country on a business visa are not really sticking to a business or strictly sticking to the parameters of why that visa was issued. Now, is that going to cut down the wait time? I really don't know. I know that these days the wait time for a tourist visa, that is your B1 B2, is in the neighborhood of about 12 months plus. That's a hell of a long time to wait for a tourist visa. But if somebody is going to streamline it, so if somebody is going to cleanse the system, then we should be happy that maybe down the line this will ease in the process.
Let's talk about the student visa. So, F1 student visa rejections are at a 10-year high. And also, travel related anxiety has also grown after JD Vance's comment about green cards. So, with increased scrutiny at US borders for F1, H1B, and even green card holders, are we witnessing a major policy shift?
It is a policy shift if you want to look it that way, because right through, see, you have to understand one thing, Nisha, that what Mr. Trump is doing now is nothing new. This is what he promised he would do during the campaign trail. And he is living up to every one of the promises he said he would enact once he became the president for the second time. And the visa abuse, immigration was the top of the agenda that really jettisoned him to the White House on January 2025. And he is not going to let go of this momentum. And yeah, student visa. Now, why is he cracking down on student visas? He says, well, there are people who say that right to protest is protected by your First Amendment. Yeah, right to protect is, and that includes, foreign students. Sure. But your visa also says that your primary objective of coming to the United States is to study. So basically, what the Trump administration is saying is that we issued you a visa to come and pursue your higher studies, whether it's a bachelor's, master's, or PhD. So stay with it. You have no business getting into areas. This is not like the Vietnam War era. Keep that in mind. I know I have heard a lot of people, lot of foreign students who took part in the nationwide demonstrations against the Vietnam War, and nobody came looking for them. But here, Trump is, he has got a very clear ideology, and that too, what happened. You have to understand these two things are different. Expressing outrage, disgust at what the Israelis are doing in Gaza is one thing. But taking on an anti Semitic posture is another thing. These two things are not the same. Now, you see, the protest against the Israeli policies in the Gaza really took shape, not just at Colombia, not just in the East Coast, but also in the West Coast. But very soon, it appeared that the protests lost perspective. See, you are there out in the street or out in the campus, showing your disgust and anger to what Israel was doing in the Gaza. You are not there to spew any anti-Jew or anti-Semitic vulgarities against a group of students. Naturally, the Jewish students in campuses felt insecure because they saw a conscious decision to target them instead of going at the cause. So all these things have just about added up. And now the Trump administration is saying, hey, wait a minute. At one time we used to have people called peaceniks. people who wanted for peace. Today they are calling it as Hamasniks, right? People who are, supporting Hamas. And Hamas is a designated terrorist organization by the United States government. So if you are out there raising the Hamas flag, the Trump administration is going to bounce you out. There is no two ways of looking at it, because they are saying that number one, you are violating your visa. Your visa was issued for you to come and study. Okay, even if you protest, you are not here to support any terrorist outfits. So that they will get tough on F1s. And now, if there is delay in issuing of F1 visas or H1Bs or green card, that's because that the vetting process is getting more intense. It's getting more scrutinized. So there is some complaint. I read somewhere today that people are very frustrated, legitimately so. People who are waiting in the green card queue have already been vetted, have already been scrutinized. Now they're saying they are subject to additional scrutiny. Maybe they are scrutinizing them all over again, just to make sure they're only admitting people who they feel are within the national security constraints of the United States. And listen, nobody can interfere with visas. Nobody can interfere with immigration policies of any country. They are a sovereign prerogative. It's just like Washington coming to India and giving us a lesson or two on how we should control who comes in and who goes out of our country. We will not tolerate it. We will not. Why? Because it's our business. Likewise, the Trump administration, nobody, that's why the MEA was very clear. They said that we cannot interfere in visa systems. That's what it is.
So I'd like to ask a question about the green card holders. Several Indians are in US, they are green card holders. So how safe is their stay there? Because advisories were given out that they have to take several other documents if they are planning to leave the US and return. So how safe are Indians who hold green cards?
There are residency requirements for a green card. There are, to the best of my knowledge, you are required to stay in the United States for 182 days or something like that. Now, there have been instances, it seems, when people pick up their green card and just come down and they just happily stay thereafter in India or in whichever country. That is not the purpose of a green card. The green card expects you residency to follow residency requirements. So what Mr. Trump is doing now, if you have a green card and you're going back into the United States, at the port of entry, the immigration officer will ask you, when is the last time you were in the US? How long have you stayed outside? And you give him an answer that he's not satisfied, he's going to ask you, how come? Why did you stay for 9 months, 10 months? Don't you know that you should be back here within 6 months? Don't you know there is this? He's going to ask you that. And that's going to make you very uncomfortable. And these things cannot be construed as harassment. You see, if you follow the letter of the law, why should you be worried? Why should you be worried? I visit the US, very often. I don't know, B1, B2 visa. Yes, they ask me, what's the purpose of your visit? I tell them what's my purpose of visit. How long are you going to stay here? I'm going to stay for so many days. Do you have money with you? Oh, yes. Okay, go. That's because he sees see, when he puts my visa through his system, he has got before him on the screen that I can't see my entire, travel to in and out of the United States. He's got it in his system. So he also knows whether I have overstayed. He also knows whether I have gone to an immigration officer and asked them to change my visa. He also knows, whether I intend to again apply for extension. He knows everything. Knowing that, he still asks you the same question. He just wants to make sure. So it is going to be difficult. But if you are within the confines of a framework, then I don't see why you should be worried. Another thing people sometimes forget, they think that a visa is an automatic entry to a country. It's not. You can hold a visa, the border agent sitting at the border or at the entry point can still refuse you. He or she can still refuse you. So don't let not people be too comfortable saying that, oh God, I got my visa. No, your ultimate decision whether you enter the United States depends on that gentleman or lady sitting in the desk. He or she enforces. That's what it is.
Thank you for your input, sir.